Hello, light workers and every being that is shining their light on this beautiful world. Today, I'm going to talk about a diamond. I'm going to tell you a story about a diamond. And obviously, the story has a meaning. And we'll talk about that too. So I'll see you in the next bit. So, light workers, this is the year of peaceful rebellion. This is the year in which we take back our sovereignty. This is the year in which the light is shined on all of these lies, these deceptions. And this is the year when we rebel. How do we do it? How do we rebel? Well, we rebel in as many ways as we possibly can. You see, we are trying to be drawn into they're trying to draw us into the cult of COVID, the COVID cult. All right, and it is a cult now. It's just a cult of doing what it is that everybody says that we should do. And they've even created, they've made humankind the police of their own selves. You know the story of the crabs. The way they catch crabs is they put a cage with a bit of fish in the bottom, and a crab goes in, and it can't get back out again. I mean, it can, but it's not easy. And then all the rest of the crabs go in there, and what happens is that, bizarrely enough, when one crab tries to climb out, all of the other crabs grab it and pull it back down again. And this is where they've got the cult of our society at, where when you step out of line with the ceremony, the formality of the ceremony of society, when you choose to walk down the street without a mask, when you choose not to distance yourself when you should be distancing yourself, when you choose not to follow the rules that are being imposed, then people get angry, okay? People get angry. But I've noticed something, and it really, truly, since the 21st of December, I've noticed this shift. And it's very noticeable here in Spain. Today I went out, and as I was going around the streets, I was coming across more and more people that were doing the what I call having the mask at half mast, or half mask if you want. People wearing it here. That I hadn't seen before. I mean, faithfully, everybody, only me. It was me only that was walking around with a mask that did F all, and everybody else was taking it very seriously. And yet, I'm starting to see the chinks in the armor. Right now, understand that when change has happened, whenever change has happened, it has never been brought about by the majority. The majority of people are crap. They always have been, they always will be. The majority of people do not want to do anything other than the same old, same old. The majority of people are very happy in the comfort zone. Don't bother me with, don't give me things, don't tell me things, I don't want to change. Right? Change has only ever come through the minority. Every time. I remember a story of a black lady who got on a bus that was designed for white people, and that changed everything. One person. There was a man who crazily suggested, he was a doctor and I think a surgeon, who crazily suggested that it might be a better idea if surgeons washed their hands before they stuck them into somebody's body. One man, he was laughed at, he was struck off the panel, he was struck off being a doctor, and he lost everything. And yet, now, hygiene is essential. And it always comes from very small groups, sometimes individuals. You know, somebody who once said, I had a dream. Okay? These are individuals who have changed the world. Small groups have always changed the world. The big groups, forget the big groups. Big groups do fuck all. The big groups, they don't care. They're the lazy, fat, floppy people who don't want to do anything. But they will change if other people change. Okay? They'll change because that's what everybody does. They've done experiment after experiment, having people in lifts. Okay? All the people in the lift are set up. They're there. They know what they're doing. They're actors. One person gets into the lift's full. The door's closed. They're facing the door. Everybody at the same time turns and faces the other wall. And the person who knows nothing about it looks and sees that everybody has turned and faced that wall, and so they turn and face the wall. Okay? It's been done experiment after experiment. Somebody falls to the ground in the street and all of the actors ignore them, so everybody ignores him. Then somebody falls to the ground, one person goes over to help that person, and then suddenly everybody goes over. The power of the small taking action changes the group. These are the shepherds and not the sheep. The sheep follow the shepherd. Okay? Don't expect anything from the sheep. The sheep want you to do something. The sheep say, well, I don't really know what I should do. I suppose I'll just see what everybody else is doing. Right? We are everybody else. We are the everybody else that they're talking about. They're not talking about everybody else because everybody else is doing fuck all. What they're saying is, let's see what other people do and I'll follow them. So, let me tell you the story about the diamond, because I did promise you I was going to tell you the story about the diamond. So one night, a man in India had a dream. And in his dream, the god Shiva came to him and said, tomorrow I want you to go into the forest. And I want you to go to this specific place. And when you get there, you will find a vagabond. A man in that culture, people would travel and they would have no money and they would just live off basically people giving them money. Okay, and they were always deemed to be very religious. So, he said, go there. That man has a diamond and he's going to give you it. And that diamond is going to make you rich for the rest of your life. So the guy wakes up in the morning. Wow, man. What a dream. I'm going to go and see. And so he walks into the forest, and sure enough, there's this wanderer, this vagrant. And he says to him, I had a dream. The god Shiva came to me and said that you were going to give me a diamond. And the vagrant said, a diamond? I don't know. I've got this. I found it on the ground and it looked interesting, so I thought I'd keep it. And it was basically the biggest uncut diamond that you could imagine. And the vagrant said, but hey, if the god Shiva said that you should have it, have it. Well, the man took the diamond and he went running home. He couldn't believe it. This was going to make him rich beyond his dreams. Well, that night he couldn't sleep. He couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned and tossed and turned, and in the morning he got up and he took the diamond and he walked back and found the vagrant again. And he gave him the diamond back. He said, please take this back. Now, tell me what riches you have that allowed you to give me that diamond. Tell me what you know that allowed you to give away those riches. Tell me what riches you have inside of you that allowed you to do that. And that is where we are. We are going to be the people that when other people look at us, they're going to say, what is it that you know that allows you to behave in that way? What is it that you know that allows you not to be fearful? What is it that you know that allows you to not want to put a mask on? What is it that you know that allows you to feel comfortable in the company of other people? What is it that you know? And that is our job now. We have done the research. We've done the work. We know. Now, when I get a video, and one came through of the ladies, the frontline doctors in the US who have done so much good work. And I listened to the first 5 minutes and I thought, I don't need to listen anymore. I thanked them for the video. That's beautiful. But I know everything now. I know everything. I've done the research. I've looked at it. I can have a conversation with anybody about the situation and be able to give them what I know, the diamond of information. But what we need to do is we need to start showing that we know it. We don't need to hide it under our little bushel anymore. There is no fear. There is no danger. And so we can go about our business with no fear. And we will stand apart, and people will want to know why it is that we don't have fear. What do they know? Small groups of people change the world. They always have done, they always will do. We are the small group of people. The big group of people don't know shit. They do no research, they do nothing. They are passive researchers. What does that mean? They sit stinking in their chair, eating the popcorn and watching mainstream media, and they are just soaking it up. They do shit. We are the ones that take action. We are the ones that educate ourselves. We are the ones that have the power. Knowledge is power. We are powerful. They are weak. They respond to power. That is how we are going to change things. Because we are powerful, because we have the information. And there's something extremely annoying about talking to somebody who has all of the information when you want to try and prove them wrong. Because, you see, mainstream media is owned by 6 companies. And behind those, well, one group, let's say, the deep state, the cabal. And they own it. And so they give one message. It's the same message throughout the world. The same arguments, the same bullshit that they give. And so wherever you go, all that you hear is the same bullshit. The same bullshit argument that has no depth. It's that deep. And our information is very deep and very wide. Theirs is very wide and very shallow. In fact, it isn't even wide. I don't even know why I'm saying that. It's narrow and it's shallow. And so you talk about something and they say, so are you denying that people haven't died? Are you saying people haven't died? Why don't you go into a hospital and spend time in the ICU unit? Why don't you? So are you? Oh, this is the best one. This is the one that I've heard so many times, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, so I'm going to do this. How dare you? How dare you? And that, I've heard that. I've heard it on the TV. Somebody says, well, actually, this is all a bit of a scam, and I don't believe a word of it. Because blah, 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 blah. And they go, for God's sake, data, I don't have any data except the overall numbers of deaths that they always say, and especially cases. And they say, well, how dare you? How dare you diss all of those people that have died? Okay? That's not an argument. That is not an argument. That is not the facts. That is not producing information. Okay? We can. They can't. They don't know it. They don't know it because they haven't researched it, because they don't need to, because they're passive learners. We're active learners. Okay? So that's how we create our peaceful rebellion. We take on the responsibility of being the few that change the many. It's been done over and over again. It's easy to do because the many have no balls and the few do. So we need to put on our spiritual armor, as the Bible says. But including that, we need the biggest, what's it called again? CodPiece. We need one of those metal codpieces. Even if you're a woman, doesn't matter. Put on the codpiece of war. Okay? The biggest set of balls ever. Because that's what we need. We need balls to do this. Because nobody's got any. They've been emasculated. The world has been made into one big eunuch. The biggest eunuch in the world. Ballless, cockless, and I don't know, vaginaless, I don't know. They've got nothing. No reproductive skills whatsoever. Okay? So we're seeing this already, this peaceful rebellion. Check out Project Veritas and what they're doing. And they're bringing things out and getting movement. It's wonderful. They're ousting people. And I think there's a lot more going to come from them. A lot more. Also, if you're aware of what's happening with big tech are on the biggest censoring campaign in the world. But it's backfiring on them because 2 days ago, 25 million people moved to Telegram from Twitter. 25 million people. Just consider that. Why? Because Twitter is just part of the deep state, as Facebook is part of the deep state. Even WhatsApp now has just sold themselves out, and they're going to sell all of the data to Facebook and to all of those. And so everybody's moving. And all of this the same time, all of these new platforms are being created. Freedom Tube, Gab. These are all things that refuse to be doctored and emasculated and made into eunuchs by big tech. So there's a big, don't underestimate what's happening. There is a massive movement happening. Okay? There's a massive movement happening in the world. We are not alone. We are maybe not the majority, but boy, we're getting there. Boy, are we getting there. And as time moves on, as the light keeps getting brighter, there'll be more. There'll be more and more and more and more and more. Okay? But our job now is to go without fear, with our massive codpiece on, along with the rest of the armor, the spiritual armor. Okay, codpiece. But the codpiece is what people look at. Yeah. Remember, years ago in school, who were the ones that we looked up to? The baddies. The ones who had balls, the ones who were always like, wow, they got all the girlfriends, didn't they? All the girls loved the bad boys, didn't they? That's what we've got to be. We've got to be the bad boy and the bad girl and stand apart and let our codpiece be seen by everybody. Okay? And be brave, because people need it now. People need to be led. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next week.